Hey guys, today is finally the day that I am putting a break to my doom scrolling and breaking the habit. Recently, I have noticed that I have been on my phone way more than I would like to be, and it's just gotten to a point where I feel like I can't even go without 5 minutes without checking my phone and picking it up aimlessly and checking my notifications, or if I don't have notifications, just randomly scrolling on social media. I know it was a problem before, but I feel like especially this semester it's built up, and I've seen some consequences from doom scrolling, and that's just not where I want to be at with my mental health or my academic performance or just my life in general. So today we are finally breaking the habit and stopping doom scrolling once and for all. So in order to achieve this goal, I have set a plan for myself, and for the sake of this video I'll just be doing it for one day, but it takes 21 days to break a habit, so I will be doing it for that amount of time and seeing how I feel afterwards. I think a big part of my doom scrolling habit and not being able to stop is just because I haven't set myself a screen time limit. So my first step is to set a screen time limit. I've seen several people set theirs through Apple or other platforms, so I will be using an app called Opal. I heard about Opal through a friend, and it is basically just a app that helps you limit your screen time. You set the amount of time that you want to be on specific apps, and when you run out of that time you can reset it, but you have to wait 5 minutes in order to reset it. So I think that will definitely help me, because in those 5 minutes I won't feel like waiting for the time to run up, so I will be useful and do other things with my time instead of just scrolling on TikTok more. The only reason I'm not using Apple is for that reason, because after you run out of your screen time you can just put in your password again and get more screen time afterwards. So I really want to try to be strict with myself and only plan to use my phone or social media apps a certain amount of time during the day. I think I'm going to try to limit myself to social media apps and other apps that I can doom scroll on or just don't need to be on for an hour and 30 minutes each day. I think that is a good start, and it allows me to have my fill of social media while also not doom scrolling to the point where I'm on my phone the whole day and have 10 hours of screen time by the end of the day. Since I am on TikTok and like to post videos there, I think I need to also really be specific when I'm posting on TikTok and interacting with other people and posting, just because I recently have, anytime I've been feeling bored or unmotivated, just picked up my phone and doom scrolled, which led into an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So I really want to be specific with my time. I might try to plan it where my main chunk of TikTok time is at night, not when I'm in bed, but before I go into bed, after dinner possibly, to do that chunk of time. But I'm still not sure about that, but that's kind of in the works. But I definitely do want to section my time out to be useful and productive. The second part of the plan is no phone before bed or right when I wake up. Instead, I really want to try to find activities that give me my dopamine instead of looking at my phone first thing in the morning or right before bed. I think for this, I'm going to get a journal, and in the morning either write down my dreams if I had any or remember them, or just what I want to do for the day, what I want to accomplish, what I want to get out of the day, maybe like 3 personal goals, or what I'm feeling like, or what the day brings, how the weather is outside, things like that, just things to stay off my phone. Also want to make my bed, do my skincare, brush my teeth, get ready, all without my phone. I want to try for the first hour of the day not to be on my phone, and for the last hour of the day not to be on my phone right before I go to bed. So we will see how that goes. At night, I think I also will lean to journaling or maybe watching a show. I feel like even though a show is screen time and you are looking at a screen, it's not necessarily doom scrolling where you're scrolling endlessly for hours. So I think that will definitely help and just give the structure that I need. The third part of the plan is to find things I enjoy doing. For example, my hobbies. I feel like I have so many different hobbies, but I just don't have time for them. But in reality, I do have time. I'm just prioritizing my time for my phone and TikTok instead of my actual hobbies I'm interested in. Since it is getting into the holiday season, I want to start making some Christmas gifts for people so I can start sewing and crocheting, or since it's November, doing more baking, or even explore new crafts. I really want to get into reading again. I was on a reading grind back in COVID probably, and haven't been on it since, just because I think COVID is really when TikTok started to emerge and I got addicted to it. So it's been a few years. So I really want to try to get back into loving my hobbies, and just when I get that feeling to pick up my phone, or if I'm bored, pick up a hobby instead of my phone. The fourth part of the plan is I really want to get educated on a new topic, preferably maybe every day, but I'm still not sure how I will be doing that. I want to find a video or podcast and jot it down in my journal. I think this is a really useful way just to know what's going on in the world, getting educated on more topics, and really sitting down and listening to podcasts, shows, or educational videos rather than just finding my news off of social media or TikTok, which, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a good, useful platform. I feel like I just would be more educated and get more knowledge out of not getting my sources from TikTok, if that makes sense. And doom scrolling really made me realize that there's so much that I could be learning instead of watching people clean their house or mukbangs, which I love them, don't get me wrong, but I definitely do think there's more I can do with my time, more I can do with my brain to, just learn more and educate myself without being on my phone. The fifth part of the plan is just to embrace the boredom. I am not necessarily good with boredom. I do not like being bored. I feel like I definitely want to have something to do every part of the day, and I think that definitely led me to more doom scrolling, because even though if I was lazy or didn't feel like I had anything to do that day, I resorted to my phone and TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, even though there were so many other things I could be doing with my time, like going for a walk or reading or doing my hobbies or even just sitting with my own thoughts. I think that's super important, and just to be with nature, not on my phone, sucked in 24/7. So embracing the boredom and just realizing that my whole life does not revolve around my phone or social media. That is my plan as of right now. I'm sure I'll add some more things to it, but definitely want to start prepping. I want to get the Opal app today. I want to find some activities to do. I do have already some sewing projects that I have been working on, so I think I will continue those. I might find a new book to read or just a new recipe to make. For me, once I find something, I'm more motivated to actually do it rather than just saying I'll do it but not knowing what I'm doing, just because then I don't have a clear path, if that makes sense. So I think having specific things I want to do laid out for me will really help me find my hobbies or do things that I enjoy rather than just saying I'll do them and never doing them in the end. Tomorrow I will be putting this to the test, the first day of breaking my doom scrolling habits, and we'll see how that goes. So I'll definitely take you guys along, but right now I am probably going to start setting up my Opal app and just prepping for tomorrow. Today is a day where I am officially starting my plan to stop my doom scrolling. This morning I did manage to go no phone for the first hour of my day, but for the sake of the video I did pick up my phone first thing in the morning to record, but other than that I did not use my phone at all. I didn't check social medias, I didn't doom scroll, I didn't check my texts, just simply hit record on my phone. I made my bed, I brushed my teeth, did my skincare, and I also did my activities in the morning to, release the dopamine, and I wanted to talk about that because I found that to be really helpful. Even for the first hour of the day not using my phone, I just felt more awake and alert, and sometimes when I'm in my bed for a while scrolling on my phone before I even wake up and get out of my bed, I always feel that I have a headache, but today I did not feel like that. I felt refreshed, like I actually slept well. The first thing I did was I journaled. I had this journal back like a year ago, but I didn't really have much stuff in it, so I thought instead of getting a new one I can just use this one because I still have a good chunk of the book left to finish. So in this book, I just journaled the dreams I had last night and also wrote down a few goals I want to accomplish today. A lot of them were just focused on doing my homework and completing some tasks around the house that I have been putting off for a while now. I feel like this was a good way of just starting my morning, writing things down actively and not being on my phone. The other thing I did this morning was I read an article on Substack, which I recently just got introduced to Substack and I am obsessed. I wish someone told me about this earlier. If you don't know what Substack is an app that you can download. It's an online publishing platform for writers and creators to publish their newsletters, podcasts, and just any other content that they want to give to their subscribers. For me, I am not the one creating on this app, not writing. I am just reading other people's articles and what they have to say. I really do like Substack just because it is a way to share long forms of content directly to the audience, and I think this will help me get out of my reading slump too, because it's not like a whole book, but it's just a little article that you can read on, which I think is really nice because sometimes I do have a short attention span, so this will be helpful. This morning article I read was Your Pocket Guide to Romanticizing November, and it was by Hannah Bay. Some authors you do have to subscribe to their page to see their work, but for this one you did not. And if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see here, but it is just a little article. She has pictures, which is super fun and interactive, and just I love it so much, and it was a really good way to start my day. This article was basically just about romanticizing November. It is already November 15th, which we're kind of halfway through November, which is kind of crazy because I feel like we just started November. Well, I feel like we just started this whole year. Anyway, she talks about just how to romanticize it, like gathering the glow, the sweet anticipation of Christmas, so like writing your December wish list, starting your advent calendar, and tending to your quiet, like having no weekend plans, or having a reset day, and stepping into the season, going for a morning walk, hosting a dinner night. She also recommended some shows that just dropped on Netflix in November that you can watch, and some books that you can also read. This will be really helpful because I am currently looking for a new book, so I will keep this noted. And she ended it by saying, as we step into November, here is a gentle reminder that this is the month where life can slow enough for you to catch your breath. There's time again to cook, to walk, to fix the little things. It's a month for clearing space and quietly enjoying what's left. No grand resolutions, just small steady choices that make the year end feeling a little lighter and a little more like your own before the twinkle of cozy Christmas season begins. November doesn't ask you to bloom or rebuild. It asks you to notice, to refill your own cup, and to savor the small joys of being here. You can also see people's comments that they leave here. Someone said, I've been feeling so burnt out and exhausted lately, and reading this gave me so much peace, which I can agree with. I think that this is a good way of connecting with people and just getting more ideas and thoughts. This definitely does remind me of Pinterest and how it's more aesthetic in a sense like that, and it's not necessarily scrolling and finding ways to interact with people like that way on social media, but more just hearing other people's thoughts. But in the morning, I want to try to journal and then at least read one Substack article before I start my day. And the rest of the morning I had some breakfast, I got dressed, and today's plan is just to do a little Sunday reset. I have a ton of homework to do and I want to do some things like my hobbies, and I'm trying to stick to the plan where I don't use my phone or no doom scrolling, and seeing how that goes. So I will keep you guys updated along the day.
Subtitles in the video for you guys now, just so you can hear what I'm saying, because I am talking quietly and I'm not sure if my mic is picking up my audio. But I am in the library doing some work. I didn't realize that the library closed at 5 today and I got here at 4, so I basically just been doing work for the past hour. I've gotten 2 assignments done, so that's good. I did plan on staying here for a longer amount of time, but that just didn't work out because the library is closing in around 5 minutes. I did have so many times where I felt like I wanted to pick my phone up and scroll on TikTok, but through the Opal app I set a timer and restrictions for me to not go on my phone.
We're closing up in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good. Basically, you can set however many minutes you want for your break, so I did a 45-minute break, and Opal locks down those apps for you, so I have Instagram and TikTok locked. During that break, I cannot go on them, and if I do click on them, it says Opal has session and then the apps will open back up, but that kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I really try to do my breaks then so I can focus on my work, because I'm that person. If I don't have those restrictions set, I will be going on the apps and just doom scrolling forever and not finishing my work. So that has actually been super helpful. We have around 5 minutes left until the library closes, so I think I'm just gonna try to get as much work done as I can and then maybe go somewhere else to do my work, or just go back home to finish the rest of my work. But so far I've been loving the Opal app. It's been the app that I've been looking for a while to help me stop my doom scrolling.
We are back in my room and I came home from the library. I decided just to come home and not go anywhere else after, just because it was getting so dark outside, and in all honesty I definitely lost motivation to do my work. So I was just like, I just need to go home, change into some comfy clothing and start my work again. I did manage to get a few assignments out of the way, but then the boredom and the lack of motivation was starting to hit me, and I wanted to pick up my phone. I wanted to doom scroll. I wanted to go on TikTok, but I was like, no, like I can't. I need to change my habits. So instead, I did part 4 of the plan was to get educated on a new topic. I'm trying to do this every night or every other day, depending on whether I have time or not. Today, I listened to a TED Talk. The TED Talk I listened to was "Is Social Media Hurting Your Mental Health?" by Bailey Parnell. It was published 8 years ago, so it was quite a while ago. It was around like a 15-minute video. I watched it and then also just took some notes in the journal app on my iPad. I think this was just a good way of learning something new. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a historic thing or something really educational like that you would learn in school, I guess, if that makes sense. Just something new or just information that you already know about but you would like to expand upon. So for me, I felt like this TED Talk was very fitting for this video because doom scrolling, social media, it relates. In this TED Talk, she kind of just explained how social media is deeply embedded in our lives and can have some serious side effects on our mental health. Also arguing that it's not completely realistic for people to stop using social media altogether, but that we should aim for it to be more mindful, and she calls it, I think it was safe social. She mentioned some key points that she makes. Some 4 major stressors on social media, like highlight reel, social currency, FOMO, and online harassment, and the psychological effects, strategies for her method, the safe social, and just like her core message, which was social media isn't inherently bad, but definitely magnifies the more difficult aspects of human behavior. And in my little notes, I like to put down 2 fun facts. So 2 fun facts from this video is that people spend an average of 2 hours a day on social media, but we don't even eat for 2 hours a day, which I think is really telling how much people, myself included, are on social media and how we really need to limit our social media. Also, another numbers one, 70% of Canadian population is on social media, and our voter turnout isn't even 70%. Also goes to show just how many people in general are on social media when our voter population isn't even 70%. I think that puts it into a big perspective as well. But yeah, that is what I did for a little break from my homework instead of scrolling on TikTok. A little educational break, which I think is actually really helpful. I think I will start doing this anytime I need a break from homework and do my little educational topic of the day. Doesn't necessarily have to be at night, but this was just when I was doing my homework, so I thought it was the perfect time for that. I do have a bit more homework to do, but after that I think I am going to start on some crafts tonight. Normally when it gets dark outside and I finish my homework, I do tend to have my social media scrolling time, which I'm not completely limiting myself of that, just in proportion. Say I go in bed at 9 o'clock and then sometimes I scroll from like 9 to 11, 2 hours, which is insane. And now I really want to be useful with my time and do more hobbies. So tonight I have some sewing projects I need to get done that will probably lead me into pretty much the end of the night. During my sewing projects, I either listen to music or just turn on a show in the background just for that audio. But other than that, I will see you after my homework. guys, I am outside. I realized when I was editing this video I did not have an outro, so here I am recording my outro. This morning I continued to do my journaling, my Substack readings, and just staying off my phone for the first hour of the day before I went to school. I basically just didn't go on my phone from when I woke up until I got to school, because that whole routine normally takes around 2-ish hours with the commute to school, so that was perfect. And I feel like yesterday I did a pretty good job of not doom scrolling and, you know, just focusing on my hobbies or other tasks like homework. Watching this video back, I am realizing that yesterday was a very work heavy day, like homework, so I didn't really have a lot of time to do the things I wanted to do with my anti-doom scroll routine. So if it was a little boring, I apologize. I had to get my homework done, and I felt like that was a productive way of also just being off my phone, you know? Even though this video is just for one day, I will be continuing it for 21 days to break my habit of doom scrolling, and I'll probably update you guys on my TikTok, so follow along here if you want to see how it goes, the 21 days. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's mainly just me talking and homework montages the whole time. I hope this inspired you to maybe stop your doom scrolling or just find new activities to do. I have to get back to my work, but I wanted to record this outro for you guys, so I will see you next time in my next video. Bye!